Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa rabbil alameen. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ahlan wa sahlan bikum. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh lil ikhwani fati fi din. Salamu ala mani tabahuda lil ikhwani fati fi Africa, Europa, America, kulli makan. Well, my dear brothers and sisters in my Fulbe community, Anjarama Jambeh, and Masalam. So we will continue our series. This is part of the series of the Fulani Renaissance, but this is a particular series we call the Road to Abuja, and it's the Fulani Council of 40. Today I have a very important series in that where I may be conducting about 3 different videos concerning the dossier. Here we have our brilliant Northern Nigerian Fulani scholars of the Council of 40. They've compiled the dossier. They're about prepared to go, if you've been following my program, up to Abuja to talk with the parliament, with the security, and also with the legislative branch. And our esteemed brothers here all have been picked. They have, we have the Council of 100, we have the Council of 40, the Council of 100, and the Council of 100 is doing their investigative wing of the Council of 40. So you have the Council of 40 here, and the investigative wing, as you heard me talk about, the investigative wing will go and do their investigations for the Emir. They'll interview, they'll talk to people from Boko Haram. They'll go deal with bandit groups, Muharaba groups. They'll deal with Mujahideen groups, and they compiled all of this into a dossier, which you see in front of you here. And these brothers here, the Fulani Council 40, will then present this to the Emir. The Emir then will get this and look it over, and then he will give his endorsement. Then they will go and board a plane to go to Abuja, as you heard me talk about this. Well, we got to talk about this dossier and what it comprises, because it's important, brothers and sisters. Many ask me, well, why are you doing this? We have to find some solution in northern Nigeria and in Nigeria proper. Why? Because as we speak today, there's killings, there's kidnappings, there's robbery, okay? There's ethnic killings. We have we have an ethnic group now where it's been detected, the Rome people, who someone gifted them from the government drones. They're using the drones because our Fulani families are starting to be more clever. They'll go in the thickets, they'll find other forest regions, and they're putting their cattle to hide their cattle there, and they can graze. Now they're using the what you call the drones to find them, and then they send trucks there, GPS, and then they go there and gunpoint kill some of our Fulani herdsmen and their families, and then steal their cattle. This is what we also have going. So all of this stuff is put into a dossier, and why the Council of 40 will be responsible for giving an alternative to Abuja, because no one has the answer to what's going on in the north. Nobody. There's so much killing. There's so much kidnapping. There's so much, banditry. You can name it. Mujahideen has moved into the northwest. They're taking over townships. We have all of this. Now it's time for the Council 40 to be developed by our scholars. I've sent out some feelers about this. I have not gotten anything returned back, and I understand why. But this, we have to do something, because it's sitting on our rear ends. It's not going to do anything. And then now we're sitting back, and now they outsource the security, as you know, to the Americans. And Americans will kill and kill and kill. And most likely they'll kill the wrong people, as they most normally do. They'll have a child is 2 years old, and they'll kill it and then claim that this child was a mujahid. So we'll have this type of genocidal murder and stuff to go on. We want to stop that. The Council 40 could do this, brothers and sisters. It's able-bodied to do such a thing, to help us to stop this carnage that's going on there and whatnot. And I'm trying to get the 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 prominent. That is boy, I don't see it here. Okay, the what one of the I don't see my thing here, brothers and sisters. I had a depth chart here. Boy, that is that's very interesting. It's mm. But anyway, the boy, I first dossier. Oh boy, I can't find it. One of the causes, brothers and sisters, that we have to put why the Council 40 is needed. Abuja is beholden to the Americans. The Americans want blood, bottom line. The Americans want the dismantlement of the Sharia. They've already admitted it. They told that. They went on all major media circuits around the world and told Nigeria to disband the Sharia. They want blood. The Council of 40 is an alternative because they will then come not deal with the Americans, but deal with our brothers to stop this. Because when the Americans come to the north, they're going to kill, and most likely you'll kill the wrong people, as we know what has happened in the past. And this will happen, and it will cause more of these situations to pop up. And we'll have more Mujahideen and so forth and so on. That's why this situation is a dire need. So as we look into this, I'll go into this here where see here. I want something that I want to show you, brothers and sisters, because this is very important about here. I think this is it here. For those who, this is the first time, now you will see the Council of 40 and so forth and so on. And then you'll have now you'll understand the depth chart of it. You have the executive branch, and you have the mayor, and he has his two closest advisors. Then you got the Modibo. The Modibo are the ones who are brilliant scholars of Islam and also metaphysical elements and so forth and so on. Some could be Sufi orientated, to Solwaf orientated, but they're brilliant. They're responsible for nominating the Council of 40, as you see here. The Modibo he has no stake, meaning he will be partial. He will nominate the 40 by rigorous examination, as you heard me talk about previously, and then he will nominate the 40. Then underneath, the 100 will be nominated by the Modibos as well. The 40 are special scholars, meaning we'll have one scholar who specializes in fiqh. We have one scholar, maybe, or a student of knowledge who's brilliant. He specializes in dealing with Mujahideen. Maybe another brilliant scholar, he's very well versed dealing with Boko Haram. So he'll deal with Boko Haram. We'll have others who have skill dealing with banditry, and muharaba. We'll have that. This is the 100. The 100 is the investigative wing for the Amir. So now you have that, so you have a better understanding, brothers and sisters, what now the Council 40 looks like. You have that. In the past, we had our brilliant statesmen that here, the 1600s, here you have the Sultanate and the Sultanate of Messina. And at this time, you see you have the Sultan. Those that gathered around him are what they call the Council of 40. This goes back hundreds of years, brothers and sisters, and it works. It checks the power of the Sultan. He does not make arbitrary decisions that go against the Sharia. He has a body of famous scholars around him and intellectuals and Qadi judges who help him. So that way he's always staying on the straight path, what we call Sirat al-Mustaqim, on the straight path, and they will be guiding him to do correctly. And this is how it was. One of my favorite of all the sultans is Sawadi. I've always admired this particular sultan, one of my favorites in the Messina, and so forth and so on. But I wanted to show you a picture of how it possibly looked in the 1600s when they had the Council 40. And you see the Council 40 here advising the Sultan Sawadi about some issues and so forth and so on. It's a beautiful system, brothers and sisters. In the North, we should go back to that. This individual scholar here, a couple of scholars there. We have think tanks. They have there's no consensus, and we need to get all of these guys together into one unit and have a boss, a emir, which is Sunnah Nabi alayhi salam, and then go to Abuja. See, go down south to Abuja to present this thing so we can get this thing going and to stop all this bloodshed and so forth and so on. So you have a picture of that. As I get to my notes here, I want to start okay, here we go. As we start to get the understanding now, the road to Abuja, the dossier of truth, the Mujahideen dossier, and the Council 40. And standing before us are these visuals I'm giving to witness to the solemn weight of our ancestral heritage. We talk about our leadership and so forth. This part 5 of our journey is introduction of the Mujahideen dossier. You say, well, why you use Mujahideen? Because reason why. The council would go to the south to explain actually who is Mujahid. BBC has a definition. The Americans have a definition. Everybody has a definition. And when you hear Mujahideen, they don't understand it. They think it's people with swords and they're cutting people's heads off. Or in nowadays, with AK-47, and they mow down innocent individuals. That's not Mujahid. That's criminal. But they named it that because essentially in the North, all the Muslims, especially the Fulani, are in some form of jihad of some sort. See, and so we have this dossier. This dossier will be designed to break down all elements of the North, so that way Abuja will have a better understanding. Because right now Abuja has no clue what to do in the North. They just don't. We do not bring to Abuja a set of polite policies and recommendations. We're not there for that. We present a comprehensive first of its kind sovereign blueprint modeled directly upon the structural majesty and governance of our ancestral fathers and their historic sultanates. This is why we're doing this. We have a better opportunity in the North by our own people, our own phobic community, of going to the bandits, going to the Mujahideen and dealing with them. See, because why? We're fellow Muslims, we're also Fulani. It's easier for us. When you bring other ethnic groups and you bring the people from Abuja to the North, they have no concepts. And a lot of times they're modern Muslims on top of that. They have no concept of what's going on to the North. And that already makes a problem. The Mujahideen dossier covers every single facet of Muslim life in the North. This is why this thing is, and I'll show you depictions of these books, from the civil jurisprudence, commercial trade, border security, education. All this is covered in the dossier that will be presented to the 3 major branches in Abuja, which is the legislative, the parliament, and then you have the security. All of these will be updated with a dossier to explain. That way, it'll make us human beings instead of making us look like we're all criminals and terrorists for everybody to be killed. And this is why we're doing this. The structure agriculture of the traditional governments in northern Nigeria operates through a deliberate, rigorous chain of authority. As you saw the depth chart I gave you, how everything is structured. It's a beautiful system, brothers and sisters. And I want my scholars in northern Nigeria to look at this. I know they're comfortable in their positions, but we have to do something because our brothers are dying. We're killing and we're being killed. And we have the ability, our Fulani scholars in the North are brilliant men. They're good men, and they're brilliant scholars and students of knowledge. And we need to get them together into one body. Our ancestors left a beautiful model for us to adopt. We should look at that. We should reestablish that again. As you see here, as I got my notes, why the Mujahideen dossier? As you heard me talk about this, when this comprehensive document lands on the desk of the federal lawmakers and the security specialists in Abuja, Its title, the Mujahideen dossier, is engineered to command immediate attention and project absolute authority. See, so now you have this part of it. So we'll start to look at what we talk about in this regard about what is the book, what the how is it supposed to look, and what the official counsel, okay, the dossiers, or we have here the okay, we will we'll have here. Now, this is a depiction, brothers and sisters. This is written in the Arabic language. This is part of the dossier dealing with the Amir, the Hakim. As you see over those who read Arabic, the dealing with the Hakim and his responsibility. These dossier goes deep into his responsibilities, his rulings, his governorship of the region. This is one of the dossiers that will be presented down south. So that way Abuja understands when we have the Council of 40, they'll know there's an Amir. They know the legislative branch knows directly to go straight to the Amir if they have something they want done or there's something that they want orchestrated. They go straight to the Amir because they understand his role and so forth and so on. It should be a beautiful system that we can work with Abuja with this. I really believe this is a viable option that we should look at. Then we look at the one of the things that is important as our Council 40, as you see here, they're compiling the dossier. Now our Council of 100 have made the investigations. Now they've written these documents and they're compiling them now. Our Council 40 will be tasked to compiling the dossier. The Council 100 will then go, of course, they've already visited with Boko Haram. They've already visited with the Laku Rawa, and they visit with the Fulani herdsmen and their militias. All these, the bandit groups, the Muharaba groups, those who will talk to us, and others will be talked to, and then a dossier, because we want to give this dossier to Abuja so they'll understand they're fellow Nigerians, they're fellow human beings, and they're Muslims. They're not aliens. They're not somebody from outer space. They're human beings. Yes, they may be wrong, but we should deal with them under Islamic law. We're supposed to deal with them. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to negotiate with them because we have life is sacred with us. So the Council of 40 and our senior members will be tasked to compile the dossier for the Amir. So now you see they are starting to make the dossier and so forth and so on. And it's a beautiful system, brothers and sisters. As I'll show you a little bit more the depictions here. Here's another one here where you have the Council 40. He's now given this to one of the members and the Mujahideen dossier and so forth and so on. And now everybody will be caught up to speed, and there'll be no confusion about the Council 40. Who are they, and what is their mission? Are they gangsters? Are they Muharaba? Are they bandit groups? No, these are honorable Modibo Islamic scholars, intellectuals, and so forth and so on, Sufi. You'll have all of these involved in this thing. And as you see here, it's a very beautiful system, brothers and sisters, that is developed. And as you see here, the report. Now this is the big full report that will, and there's going to be individual dossiers as well. This dossier here will be then given to the parliament. It'll be given to the security, and it'll be given it to the legislative branch, and compiling there everything. So the president of Nigeria, the parliament, everybody will read the same documents, the same dossier. This will go a long way to make the Fulani as human beings. Now the media, and you have people in government, and you have rank and file Nigerians, especially the South. They're making scurrilous comments about Fulani people, talking about the Muslims in the North. Here we'll have something that we can give to explain what has happened in the North, why the North is the way it is. And this is why this is very, very important. I'll give one more depiction, and then I'll go back to my notes, because I wanted you guys to get this understanding of what it is and whatnot. And then here you have they compiling this, and they're about ready to give it. They're going through it, and they're ready now to go see the Amir to give him the dossier that they've completed. And this system will work, brothers and sisters. Even in this day and age, it will work. It will work, brothers and sisters. It's something that we know that will take place, and we know that it will work, and we are certain that it will work. And I want to. Okay, here we got here. Now this is a little bit ahead of the story, but I'll go ahead since I've already did it. We have now compiled our documents. We're going to be presenting it as our beautiful and famous Modibos, Silitije. We have Ulama. All these will be compiled, and they'll take their flight to go to Abuja. Now here in the parliament, the Amir coming to the chambers, the parliament chambers, to meet selected individuals before the speech. This is how the system will work, brothers. I feel so good about this. Our ancestral fathers, all we do is go back to see how they handled this, how they handle situations. We have the same situation today, basically, as we did then. And they handled it. They dealt with the bandits. They dealt with the Muharaba. There's other Mujahideen groups who popped up through the kingdom. How they deal with them? They dealt with the Tubab, the Europeans, the Portuguese, the British. They dealt with them as well. They know how to deal with them. All of the things that we're doing now, they dealt with that. But here's a depiction here, a beautiful depiction of the parliament, and you have the Emir of the Council of 40. They have now, come into the chambers for, he will give a speech before the parliament and whatnot like this. And this is a beautiful, beautiful system. We are Fulani, okay? Islam is our way of life. We have the most famous scholars. We have the best scholars. We're the most wealthiest. We have many aspects. We have more scientists than anybody else. We have more people involved in metaphysics than anyone else. We have astronomers more than anyone else. We have more Islamic scholars than anybody else. We have more mathematicians than anybody else. We have more geologists. We have all of this as Fulani people. So we should be able to use all of this expertise and all this high-tech knowledge and put it into a unit, and then go to Abuja and start to negotiate with Abuja and so forth and so on. And I believe this is a very, very valuable situation that I think we can get done, brothers and sisters. As we go back to the notes here, I want to impress upon you, brothers and sisters, please stay with this series so you have a better understanding. Please stay with the series and get a better understanding of what's going on. And that way you can make that determination. So when you hear the news, you say, no, I seen our brother Sheikh Yahya, what he was saying. And, and you'll be able to dissect the news and so forth. We talked about the genesis of the Mujahideen dossier. This is important. The reclaiming the term, why we name it this. Today, we have Muslims, even in the South, Muslims in the North, Muslims everywhere, copying the terms that the Tubab has called Muslims. One is jihadists. We don't like that term. It has nothing to do with Islam. It has nothing, and it's not Arabic either. See, we don't want the kuffar to keep making labels for us, and we're supposed to adopt that. The Mujahideen dossier will clear that up, even for the Christians to the South, so they'll have a better understanding. Reclaiming the terminology. The council will adopt the terms to strip away the media framing and the restored literal and foundation definitions. Because as you see, the Christians, they see a guy and he's from the north, automatically they say he's Muslim and he's doing this. We want to give you an understanding when these people make crime, this is not authorized under Islam. But a lot of them don't know that. They assume that Islam is allowed for Muslims to make crimes against non-Muslims. It's not the case. Those who struggle and strive for the path, this is what a mujahid is. Mujahid, yes, it has something to do with war, but it also has something to do with defense. In the north, the Muslims, the Fulani in particular, all the Mujahideen in regards, in the sense that they're in a battle. Physical confrontations, as well as mental confrontations, economic, everything. Also, the comprehensive scope is designed because it's merely, it covers military and counterinsurgency matrix, but it also covers the aspects of Muslim life in the north, the struggle to maintain Islamic identity, their cultural heritage and language versus non-Fulani's animist factor and paradigm against us. That is important, brothers and sisters. You have the media and is backed by the government. The government gives information, the media runs with it, and they call us many different names. And many of the media are anti-Islamic and anti-Fulani. This will help to quell that. So this dossier, as you see, is designed to educate everybody, the parliament and the security and the legislative branch. So that way they'll make us into human beings now, instead of making us into objects to be hurt and killed. As you see here, educating Abuja, the Mujahideen dossier will help to make them see us in a different light. And we want to make sure in the dossier will also clear up another matter. We have Christians and we have modern Muslims who always say that every Muslim is owned and only understand to be Arab. This is not the case. We want to explain that. Educating Abuja, the document vigorously instructs the federal capital that the council's creed is neither rogue ideology, nor is it ported into splinter factions derived from Jazira Arab. In the document, we want to make sure this is not a Q ideology, or Akida is not that, or it's not ISIS, it's not any of the Jazira Arab derivatives. Instead, our Akida is Islamic, is Sunnah. But instead, it is an indigenous, all-encompassing social political revival native to the Sahel. We go back to our Fulani Sultanates and we see how they govern. They govern by the Quran and Sunnah, meaning 100% Sharia. This is what we talk about here. We're not talking about some new innovation in Islam. No, the Fulani scholars are not involved in that. But we will show how things should be and how it was in the past and how it should be now. The operational protocol is very important, brothers and sisters. The townships are being taken over. As we speak today, there's a new township somewhere. It's been taken over by a bandit group or a Muharraba group or even by a Mujahideen group. We have this. If we set up the council of 40, we'll take many of the responsibilities away from Abuja, because we'll have that'd be another chapter, but we'll have our own force, and we'll know how to deal with this situation. When an urgent intelligence reached the Emir regarding a provincial township recently brought over under some new faction, bandits or Mujahideen or whomever, the full weight of the Mujahideen document is activated through precise operational protocol. The Council of 100 will then go to that township where the takeover has took place. There they will gather intelligence and compile raw data from the border agents and local informants, routing the intelligence directly through the council and it reaches the Amir advisors. So now we have Mujahideen, see, say Northwest. They took over a township. So now we send our agents, our scholars from the Council of 100 to go investigate. They will do a doctrine audit. The council will cross-reference local administration's practice against the creed outlined in the Mujahideen dossier. This is critical. If some Mujahideen come and they have Jazeera Arab, ISIS mentality, this will be written up and explained. The sovereign ultimatum. Rather than immediate kinetic engagement, the Amir dispatches an emissary bringing the dossier, offering the township, because they're under now a new rule, a choice between formal integration under the council's structure, or systematic isolation from the regional trade and protection routes. If we get a rogue entity that don't want to follow the Quran and the Sunnah, essentially, they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time in dealing with the council. Because why? We want peace. We don't want rogue elements in the North anymore. That's why we have the council. We want to put an end to these guys. We want this stuff to stop. We want to stop this bandits and these Mujahideen groups coming in with foreign ideology, coming in and take over township. We want to put an end to that. The mobilization of the executive guard. If the local leadership rejects the parameters of the dossier and the tactical enforcement wing is authorized, by this time we will have our own force and we will know how to deal with these guys. See, now because we understand our brothers, we will go to them to negotiate. See, this is not like it is today. Now, the military finds this out. The first thing they do, they get in planes, they start dropping bombs, and they start killing everybody in the region. Even if they kill one bandit or one mujahid, they kill 70, 80, 100, 200 in response. We want to stop that. And we'll have the administration, we will take these individuals by force, as you see here, meaning vigorous engagement. We will be negotiating with the Muharraba group or whomever, ensuring absolute alignment with the council framework. If some group comes in, they say, okay, look, yes, Baba, I agree with you. We're going to implement the Sharia. We're going to implement it according to what the council says we want to be under the council and so forth. So now we have no problem. The council will send representatives from the 100 over to school the group or whoever's taking over the new township. That's how this would work out. See, not come under bombing from the Americans, because the Americans would be out of the equation. That's why this framework of the dossier, brothers and sisters, is not going to be easy, because the Americans are not wanting no negotiations. They don't want any of that. They want blood. They want killing. See, they want Muslims killed, and they want to disable Islam and the Sharia. They've made it clear that, here months back, they made it clear about that. So Abuja is going to have to find a way to corral the West, because they have dealings with them. We don't want them, when the council begins to do its work, we don't want to see the Tubab coming there and they start to murder and so forth. They're already there. They have makeshift places there. We want them out, because they will cause more problems. So now we at the point where we have the military, structure and so forth. And this here is another wild card, brothers and sisters. But before we get to that, I'm getting close here. I want to show some other pictures and so forth and so on. As you see, I already talked about the mandates, and then we have here we have the dossier from Council 40, now giving it to the legislative branch and so forth and so on. Again, you see this system, the beautiful system, brothers and sisters. These are esteemed brothers here at the Council 40 to your left, giving the Mujahideen dossier to a legislative branch close to the president of Nigeria. He now will have this book that will explain many things. And he's given to about one of our respected scholars, and Modibo will then hand it to somebody in the legislative branch. Beautiful system, brothers and sisters, beautiful system. And I believe system should be implemented. I believe it will work. It will create a peace between the two societies. The North is different from the South. The South is primarily Christian. The North is primarily Muslim. We have a disconnect and a divide. This will help to bring us together. And that's why this is very important, the Council 40, to get this established. And the military also will be brought into this. Here, the military is given the dossier. This will help the military. Why? Because instead of now running, when they hear comment made or they hear some about a township, they'll run over there to drop bombs and they'll start killing everybody. This will stop that, because now they will know the Council 40 will be on it. The Council of 40 will present the dossier, the Mujahideen dossier, to the military branch and security forces and police, so that way they'll understand their Nigerian brothers to the north. This is another aspect, again, why the system should work. And here you got the Council 40 members, the Mujahid, giving the Mujahideen dossier, giving it to the security forces. And this system, I can see it really can work. And now they will have a blueprint. When they hear or they get intelligence, they take it to the Council of 40 in the north and say, look, we got intelligence that over to the northwest, we have this going on. They can do an investigation. We can save lives that way, brothers and sisters. We can save lives that way. And we're, because in the end, we're all Nigerians, and we should protect the sovereignty and the sanctity of everyone, regardless if they're Muslim or Juju or Orissa or whomever. This is why that's important. And one more here. I want to the legislative branch, the military has received theirs, and I wanted to get now. This is where the official, most likely, we will hand this over, the beautiful inscriptions, to the president himself. The others will get something similar to this, but the president will have something that's a little bit more detailed, more so than the others have. And this dossier will be most likely given to the president for his edification, so he can now have something to read and to understand. And then we have the parliament. They will have their here, as you see here, she was accepting it in the parliament, the dossier, again from the Council 40. She will receive this document, then she'll be able to pass it along, and they'll probably start to make copies, and this will be a beautiful read. They'll get it and they'll start to study it, and this will go a long way. This will help to quell a lot of the disinformation and lying that's going on about the North, because now the Modibo will come and he will get this dossier, and this dossier will cover all aspects. It'll be a fascinating dossier, and it will clear up many of the misconceptions that they have. And the one of the greatest factors why this dossier is important, brothers and sisters, as you see this depiction here, you got a hardened Modibo, a Mujahid. Most likely he might have came from the Western Corridor. He's Fulani, but he went back to northern Nigeria. He's a hardened Mujahid. He's probably fought the Russians. He's probably fought the Americans. He's fought the British and the French. So this man to your left here is a scholar of Islam. He's a Modibo, but he's also Mujahid, and he means business. So you have the northern sovereignty, the Sharia law. He wants the Sharia. And this is, again, how we look at this. And to the south, here, they have constitutional law. They want secular law. We should, even though we have that divide, we have a way to reconcile. If we don't reconcile, as it says here, we'll have a fracture. And you see in the background the river, how it's fractured off. You have the south by traditional masjids of the Sokoto, the beautiful township of the Sokoto. Over to your right, you have the modern technology, modern city metropolis. Here to your right, you have the modern, modern Muslim, Christian, whomever to your right. To your left, you have Mujahideen soldiers who are equipped here, standing behind the medieval, who is probably one of the commanders. Then you have the commander himself, the Mujahid is in all blue here. And you see this is a rugged Mujahid. And most of the Mujahideen that you see that's running in northern Nigeria today are veterans or hardened warriors who've been fighting in the Western Corridor. And also in the north, they've been fighting Boko Haram. They've been fighting the bandit groups. So the brother like this to your left is no joke. He mean business. So this, again, is a depiction showing you how this fracture is occurring and how we have to do something to stop that. The Mujahideen dossier, the Council of 40 report, is important document. And I hope to see this happen, brothers and sisters. I pray that this happens. I really do. Few more notes here, brothers and sisters, then I will close until we go to another segment, inshallah ta'ala. The dossier will be about 1,000 pages. It'll be evidence, brothers and sisters. It'll be evidence showing the malfeasance of Abuja, but it also showed the difficulties of the North and our failures in the North as well. The 1,000-page evidence will give how we have erred from the South to the North, how we've done wrong, and things we have done right. This is why this dossier should carry a lot of weight. And this evidence is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. We'll have compiled everything from corruption to banditry. All of this will be covered up in, covered in the dossier. And here also we'll be given the Modibo mandate, his dossier. We will have this so you understand what is the Modibo's role. He is the advisor to the Emir, and he's also advisor to the Council of 40 and the Council of 100. Why? They're the senior most wisest of all our scholars. Not only are they Islamic scholars, they're scholars of the metaphysics as well. See, they're what we call the masters of the earthly plane, and they're masters of the cosmos. That's what makes the Modibo different than the regular Islamic scholar. The Modibo, he has the gift and the divine favor from Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to discuss the cosmos. He can also talk about the earthly plane. You can talk to him about the Quran. He can talk to you about the Quran. You want to talk to him about the Sunnah, you can. If you want to ask him about the declinations in the cosmos, he can explain that as well. This is the Modibo. His education, his intelligence, and divine favor is written in this document as you see here. So all of this, brothers and sisters, is a system that I believe we can have worked out, and I believe this could really set us onto the right path and so forth. I want to cover this, brothers and sisters, because this is important. The sovereign military architect, breaking the Abuja protocol. Right now, Abuja has no answer except bombing and killings. They send in military and they send in special forces, militias into the north, and sometimes they find the bandits and they kill some, or they arrest some leaders here and there, but they also kill a lot of Fulani, innocent Fulani. And many of the security forces have a side business, which is they go and steal our cattle. See, this is one of the things why we want to put this force to rest and keep them to the south. We don't want them in the north anymore. We want to bypass the compromised federal security framework to neutralize the federal forces that are beholden to Abuja and have divulged into rogue instruments of secular control. Now, the security forces, military, have side business. They get low pay from Abuja. So they rob Fulani, they kill Fulani, and they steal the cattle as a side business. The council established an independent native defense apparatus. What we're going to most likely call this is the Northern Hezbollah Police and Security Services. This is what we'll call that in the north. And the Abuja will be out of it. Because now the security forces and military apparatuses in the north are so corrupted. Many times they lead the raids against the Fulani. It's them who's making a lot of money from stealing cattle. See, we want to put this to rest. So we'll have our own Hezbollah. Deals with the security. They are Sharia. Again, unlike Abuja Protocol, which answers to number 6 here, answers to secular distant federal legislation, this native force operates directly under divine jurisprudence of Sharia law, ensuring that every tactical movement and defensive deployment aligns with sacred law. Meaning, if there's something here, we'll have scholars, we have a Qadi. They'll go to the Qadi and say, the Qadi is the judge. They say, look, judge, this is what we got. We got this over here. They will issue a fatwa, and they'll give, if there's an emergency, it's a different situation. But if they have time to make judgments, they go to the Qadi, and the Qadi in the Islamic court will give a fatwa to the Hezbollah. Now you go to deal with these people here, and so forth. This is how that way we will eliminate many of the corruptive practices that Abuja has been doing to the north for decades. We want to put an end to that. Important. Number 7, the exclusion of foreign elements. We don't want to see the Tubab there. In this instance, let me correct what I'm not correct. Let me explain what I mean by that. We're not talking about tourists. We're not talking about these. We're not talking about students come to study in Sokoto. We're not talking about that. And they're from Europe or America and they're white. Okay, they're Tubab. No, we're not talking about that. Here we're talking about the security, the intelligent apparatuses of the Americans, the British, or whomever. This is what we're talking about. We want that element removed because they're a detriment. They bring only more. We're not talking about the rank and file Tubab American or the British American or French, or the Frenchman. They come and they want to study and they want to travel, come to tourism. Under Sharia law, they have a right to come. We have nothing to stop them. We won't stop them as long as they obey the laws. We're talking about the security element and the military. This is what we're talking about. We don't want to see them in the north. We want them out of it. And then we have the border patrol and whatnot. We will have our own security force. As you see, they will be patrolling because the Fulani understands the Fulani better. When you bring troops from the north, from the south to the north, it just doesn't work. We want to purge the rogue factions. We want to make sure these rogue police officers that are in the north now preying on the Fulani, we want to put an end to that. And we also, number 10, we want to put an end to the compulsion and tribute. Many of the security forces are rogue. They're going to townships. They're away from everybody. They're forced monthly payments. They're forced to give cattle every month in tribute so they keep their lives. Okay, we want to put an end to that. And then lastly here, brothers and sisters, the catalyst of federal friction. We're going to expose the corruption nexus in Abuja. The Mujahideen dossier will have the elements in there. We will explain all of the unrest and all of the corruption that we know, because we have people who will be telling us who's doing it, and we'll have the hujah, meaning the proof, who's doing this corruption, who's aiding the bandits, who themselves are policemen that are actually bandits, but they portray themselves as Fulani when in fact they're not. We're starting to catch them as well. We're finding Yoruba and Igbo portraying themselves to be Fulani when in fact they're not. So we're going to expose this corruption pipeline. And as you see here, as you can read this here, it's a bit lengthy. I can't read all of this for you to save time. But as you see, we want to put it into this corruption network. The ultimatum of the council, dismantling the corruption nexus, we will confront Abuja about this with our evidence with the dossier. We want to explain to the council is not entering this agreement seeking. We're not looking for money from them. We're not looking for something or positions in the government. We're not looking for that. We're totally different from any other group. We're not a think tank like Mayati Law, like you heard me say the other day. We're different from that. See, number 11, constructive confrontation. We will begin to formally engage Abuja. We want that. Number 12, exposing the profiteers. These people who have been making money by going to the north, claiming there's a 5,000, 6,000 troop terror group, and then they go back, file with the Americans. The Americans sends money, they fatten their pockets, they take millions and millions of dollars, put them in offshore bank accounts, and then, and so forth and so on. They'll go kill a few Fulani to satisfy the Americans, and so forth and so on. We want to stop that. And then the direct line, the council draws the absolute unmovable line, the current Compromise Security Act, we want to stop that. We want to restore peace through sovereignty by eradicating the corrupted ecosystem, which the bourgeois has been famous for, that they import to the north. We want to Sharia-aligned native forces. The North will reclaim its security and end the cycle of exploitation, forcing permanent reckoning upon the ruling class of Abuja, who've been making a lot of money off lying to the Americans, and then Americans fund them, and you know what the story is. We all know what's going on with that. And also here, we want to have the sovereignty of financing. We will finance our own. We'll have our own financing. We'll get it from other Muslim states. We'll have wealthy Muslims from Europe or from the Jazeera Arab, from Asia. They will see our project and they will fund the Council 40. And so we have Saudi Arabia, they'll see it. They're benevolent, especially for something like this. They will go to help to fund our endeavor in the north. We won't get the money from Abuja. That way we'll take Abuja out of the equation, because the minute we get the money from Abuja, they will compromise that. The minute we take the money from the IMF, they will compromise that. Since it's the Sharia, we cannot take the money from any Kafir. We cannot. We can take it from other Muslims, but we can't take it from the Kafir. In this instance, we can. Can you trade with the disbelievers? Yes, we can. And that's a different, we're not going to get deep into Islamic class about that. I've covered that in another section about a year ago, and I think even 6 months ago. But we want our own funding, which will have private sources to do this. We have wealthy businessmen to help to do this and whatnot. And we want to stop Abuja and their meal train of corruption coming to the north and sending secular commanders and police forces. And then we have problems there in modern Muslims and whatnot. Indigenous wealth, as you see, we will get our own financing from other Muslim countries who will help to finance this, and also wealthy Muslim donors. This is what we want to do and whatnot. As you see here, the Muslim benevolence, where we'll see, especially like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, we know what they're doing, but we're not getting into that. But we'll ask and we'll have those who will fund us. That way we'll take Abuja out of the equation. Other Muslims like Turkey, especially Turkey, finance something like this, and they send millions for aid and to the region. That way we can develop our system, and the system will be then used to stop the marauding and all the stuff that's going on in northern Nigeria today. And brothers and sisters, I know this may be a different type of talk, but this is important because you have brothers and sisters who are dying there in Nigeria. You have young girls being kidnapped as we speak today, forced into marriage. We have ravaging of Fulani women. We have now ethnic groups who've been given drones by can you believe this, by Abuja. Abuja is giving them drones where they're combing the savannah looking for our herds. Once they find our herds where they're grazing, they send the security trucks. They come there and fight and kill our herdsmen and then steal our cattle. This is kind of stuff that we have going on now, and we want to put a stop to that. This dossier, brothers and sisters, will be the final straw to help to get this going and to stop this stuff. And here I want to get this out also. Now here you have the Emir of the Council 40. He's now addressing the Parliament and so forth and so on. His lieutenants behind him of the Council 40, they're there as he addresses the Parliament. And we hope to see this. We hope to see this, brothers and sisters, happen soon, inshallah ta'ala, where we have the Council 40 come to the Parliament and they will explain and talk to the Parliament about the Council 40 and now the new leadership that the North will need. The Council 40 will provide the new leadership. From Northeast to the Northwest, we will provide this scholarship, security, and everything else. And here the Emir is talking to the council, to the Parliament in Abuja, and that will be an important. As you see here, they arrive here, and they're coming and to the assembly, and as I think I showed this to you, but I wanted you to get this picture in your mind how it will look. You see that our council are not thugs and gangsters. As you see here, they're in the Parliament. They're coming to again deal to talk with the Emir of the council and so forth and so on. This will start from the hearts of the warmongers in the South. This will help to alleviate. And not only that, the media will now get a different picture of the North. They'll see these dignified scholars. Okay, they'll see Baba, they'll see all these dignified individuals, and now the media can clean up their act because they're part of the problem, and so forth and so on. So you see this avenue, and now I'm hoping that you guys got a good glimpse of this system, and now you got it. And brothers and sisters, we hope that this book will go a long way to explain the mandate and whatnot. And especially this is the Amir's book, the Hakim, as you see here. This is in Arabic language. This is his book and explaining his role. Everything explained so the Parliament, the legislative branch, the security branches will have no difficulty understanding the sunnah of the council. And that way now the North is being spoken for. Now the North is trying to clean up its act. The Council 40 will be on the job now. They'll be doing their job. Scholars will be now heavily involved. The scholars today in the North are quiet. Many of them can't talk. Many of them are afraid to talk. I understand that. We know what's going on. Okay? Now the scholars will be involved. See, now they can talk. They'll be able to now to really educate and do the things and to make the North much better place to live. Now there's silence because Abuja silences basically most of the scholars. See, they can't make comments or nothing. We'll change that avenue. That's why this council is important, brothers and sisters. So I'm hoping that you get a better picture of this, and we'll have another segment of this, inshallah ta'ala, in a couple of days, where we go with part 5. Now we're there in Abuja. Now the document, the mandate of the Mujahideen dossier has now been given to the Parliament, to security branch, and into the legislative branch, and then we'll go from there with other aspects of the council and how we can be able to govern the North and so forth and so on. So brothers and sisters, until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.